Joe Biden has work to do. He has to do better. His team has to do a lot better. I'm just not ready, though, to count Joe Biden out. Not even close.
Yes, Sheriff Mika. Any which way the wind blows with these people, and I'm going to try to use my words carefully here because I almost slipped right there, but that was Mika Brzezinski, and on Friday, that whole panel was, oh, Joe's got to go. And they got new marching orders from the Gestapo. Now they're goose-stepping to a new tune. Now I'm going like this. Put on your red shoes, Mika. Dance the blues. Yeah, they changed their tune. Joe Biden did terribly in the debate, and they admitted it for about a day. Oh, yeah, he's got to go. He's got to be replaced. Then Joe Biden back from fundraisers or something and up to Camp David to powwow, which is racist, with his family. You know, the remaining family members that he recognizes, which narrows it down pretty rapidly. And reports flying out of there all over the place. The funniest one was probably Bill O'Reilly. Remember Bill O'Reilly from the Fox News Channel? And he came out with breaking news exclusive last night or yesterday afternoon that the family members are telling Joe Biden he's got to go. He's got to go, and it's time for him to go. And then every news organization on the planet came out with the exact opposite, and it turns out his family. And they had Hunter Biden up there, who is the smartest man that Joe Biden knows. And the smartest man that Joe Biden knows put his crack pipe down for a minute in the Hoe House, and he told Joe, no, you've got to stay and fight. You must stay and fight. And Dr. Jill Biden, who's known as, you know what her Secret Service code name is? Her Secret Service code name is Visiting Angel. It's Visiting Angel. She's Visiting Angel, Joe Biden's choice in healthcare. And and apparently she's all with him too. And they're sending out, the Democrats are so full of hooey. I'll try to keep it clean. Say that they're full of hooey because, boy, are they. And on Friday, Joe Biden had to go. And now Joe Biden has to stay. And so all weekend I was singing, should I stay or should I go now? If I stay, there will be trouble. If I go, it will be double. So come on, baby, let me know. Okay, I'll stop now. Should I cool it or should I blow? See, because that's, and they, on Friday he was out. All his friends were like, you got to go, Joe. And by the time Monday rolled around, they had all slept with one another's wives and stolen each other's cars and things and cheated on their taxes. And then they said, oh no, Joe is the best. He's the greatest. He's the only one that can win. He's got to save our country because he's doing such a great job of saving our country. That is, if our country is Guatemala, I'm not sure what country he thinks he's president of, but he's not a good president for the United States of America or the people living here unless you're a Venezuelan gang member that is assailing underage girls. Then of course, this is the place for you because Joe Biden's got your back. Remarkable things. So a lot happened over the weekend. And again, that was Mika we started with. Remarkable stuff. Also, we're wrapping up. Today is the 1st of July. Am I right about that, Michael? It's the 1st of July. The 4th of July is on Friday, Independence Day. We celebrate that in America. Thursday. What did I say? Friday. Oh, sorry, Thursday. It's Thursday. That's a calendar thing. I have to put a calendar on the wall over here. And so we got that going for us. And so that means that the Democrats' Gay Pride Month ended yesterday. It ended yesterday. And just in time, they squeezed in some gang violence, some mob violence. Honestly, in New York City, it looked like a WNBA riot. It's a good thing Caitlin Clark wasn't there. But everybody that looked like Caitlin Clark seemed to be getting beat up by the mob of WNBA impersonators. Remarkable stuff. I got that. Where do you hear it? It sounds like the 3-day attack on the White House when Trump was living there, for which no one was charged with any crimes at all because Democrats and mob violence go together like carrots and peas, like a hand in a mitten. It's a remarkable thing. I like that image better than a hand in a glove, but that's me. So we got that, the end of LGBT. And in San Francisco, did you see this? The man who's apparently gay, member of the LGBTQ community, but he's not an L, is he? No, he's really just G, isn't it? And it's not just Q, and he's not I. He's none of that. He's just G. And he decided to lay down. They brought like a children's pool out, and all the gay men stood around and filled it with urine, the old-fashioned way. And the man laid down in it, and then other gay men came along and urinated on him while he was in the little kiddie pool of urine out in the street. And that was all considered to be wholesome fun by the Democrat Party because, honestly, Caligula would be mortified by what we're watching in the United States of America today. And for Democrats, he was a Roman emperor near the time of the fall of the Roman Empire. 476 AD, the fall of the Roman Empire. But never mind that. So that in San Francisco, it's so much to be proud about, so much pride to be had, particularly when you empty your bladder on some random man on the sidewalk, because the end of civilization is here, and the Democrat Party is ushering in the new dark age that is headed our way like a locomotive in a tunnel. Woo woo with it's just amazing stuff. Yeah. And wait till you hear the audio of the, honestly, it was like black women mostly, lesbian LGBTQ Pride Month capper in New York City that turned into a violent attack on everyone with these giant, huge, tattooed, nasty women violently assaulting people. But nothing says pride like a subdural hematoma. That's what they say in New York now. Nothing says pride, especially gay pride, like a brain injury and subdural hematoma. Remarkable stuff. People being beat. A lot of extensions being yanked off too. Wigs and extensions being torn off. And they consider it to be all just wholesome, LGBTQ fun, violence. But it did look, honestly, at one point I was like, there's more excitement out in the street there than there is at any WNBA game. But anybody that looked like Caitlin Clark was getting thrown to the ground just like at a WNBA game. It was remarkable stuff. So we got some of that for you. But, Joe Biden is the big story because Biden, and this is now Biden's aides, the people that prepped him at Camp David who were receiving high praise until they weren't, because the Democrats will turn on you like the Gestapo. I'm back to the Gestapo again. Do you think it's Gestapo or Gestapo? Or do you think you say stop or just stop? I think it goes either way. What do you think? Yeah, I think so. It's kind of more fun when you say Gestapo. It sounds more foreign, like Germans, who are foreign, by the way, if you're an American. But Biden aides, this is great. Here's the headline from the Washington Post, a left-wing propaganda outlet, extreme left-wing radicals. And the headline is, Biden aides plotted debate strategy for months. That's the first sentence in the headline. Then it all collapsed. They plotted it for months. Then it all collapsed. See, they're blaming the people that they took him to Camp David for 8 days, I think, to train him to do real well in the debate. And then he was a complete disaster. So they're going to blame the people that trained him, that gave him that's what they're doing now. 16 people. I was talking about the 16 people. I read some of their names. Most of them are completely irrelevant and anonymous people that leak anonymously to the Washington Post and say they were granted anonymity in order to speak freely about the subject. Biden aides plotted. That's an interesting word. Debate strategy for months, then it all collapsed. The Washington Post, very, very anxiety-ridden over this. So what's going to happen is they're going to blame a bunch of other people and fire everybody that trained him, that briefed him, that prepped him for the debate because it's all their fault. It can't be Joe's fault. He's Caligula, and the rest of them are just the people urinating on each other in the public square. And on everybody else, for that matter. Amazing. And then the headline becomes, Hunter Biden and family. Is Hunter Biden not part of the family? Hunter Biden and family urge Joe Biden to stay in 2024 race. Why do they always have to bring race into it, honestly? And The CNN people, they've got one because they're very international, Foreign diplomats. When I was at CNN, you weren't allowed to use the word foreign because it was considered to be impolite. That was a Ted Turner rule. Don't say foreign. You had an international object in your eye. You had something international floating in your drink. Foreign diplomats react with horror to Biden's dismal debate performance. That's CNN headline, and it's a remarkable story as well. Of course, at the same time, they don't remember last week. They don't have to. They can erase their memories just like that. I just snapped my finger. Just like that, they can erase their memory of anything that happened yesterday. Whatever they say today, they can say the sky is black today, and tomorrow come out and say the sky is white, and they do both with a straight face, and all the Democrats nod in agreement like we're in some kind of medieval Torquemada chamber of laughs. It's completely berserk, these people. But on Friday, the New York Times, they had a front page story saying, they had how many? 5 editorials or op-eds saying Joe Biden has got to go. He's got to step down. Everybody there, Nicholas Kristof, all of their big name typists from the girls' steno pool at the DNC, they all typed up stories saying Joe Biden has to go. And then New York Times slammed for the front page, ignoring the biggest story in the U.S., Joe Biden's disastrous debate. Quote, was it a political decision? That's in the headline at the Daily Mail. Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, it was the New York Times. Every decision is a political decision. They're not a newspaper. They're, the inkwell for the Democrat Party and nothing more. Just extraordinary, amazing stuff. And then The Economist, they came up with a good story over the weekend. Who could plausibly replace Joe Biden? And they've got a list of 10. They've got 10 people that could plausibly replace Joe Biden at The Economist, because on Friday, the story was Joe Biden is toast. He's gone. He's leaving. They're kicking him out. And then hours later, the bunch of savages took a look around, and after they got done with their pride urination event and beating the hell out of women in New York and, the usual Democrat Party stuff, looting, I'm sure there was looting involved because, they love looting. Then they said, wait a minute, Kamala is our backup quarterback, and her poll numbers, all that matters, her poll numbers are even worse than Joe Biden's. They could run Satan. They might call him Beelzebub or something else, but they got to run Satan. And they'd all get behind him. They'd all fall in and goose step behind him with their fingers up under their noses like they have little mustaches. They'd make like little finger mustaches with themselves. Because they will fall in, they will snap to, they will do whatever the party tells them to do, including overturning your car and stealing everything you have. The Democrat Party is unwell in 2024. So who could plausibly replace Joe Biden? A list of 10 people. And also at Axios, they came up with a piece that talking to the Joe Biden people, and they discovered that he can only work, and they only schedule him for stuff between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. every day. Now, I reported this here months ago because there have been reports that Joe Biden only works and is semi-alert between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. But Axios went back and reconfirmed that, and this time somehow it's news. It's remarkable. And the two Bidens is one of the headlines. Top White House aides tell Axios Biden only dependably engaged a few hours per day. And Joe Biden's ability to operate beyond 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. daylight window scrutinized. It's being scrutinized. No, it's not really. Not by the news media or the Democrats. And for that matter, the Republicans aren't very good at politics either, because this is the kind of thing you might pounce on and take advantage of if you were in the opposing party. Remarkable stuff. And even the left-wing Obama administration people at Pod Save America, that's a podcast. It's about killing America. They don't understand irony. They said that Joe Biden, they're sounding the alarm. They call it the Biden debate performance a beeping disaster. I can't say the word here, but you know which word it is. A beeping disaster, they call it, for Joe Biden. Maybe the worst debate I've ever seen in my life. questioning Joe Biden's mental acuity. But then Jill Biden and Hunter Biden said, no, you're staying. So they're going to fire everybody around him and blame them. It's what they do in North Korea. I wouldn't be surprised if they lashed some to telephone poles and used anti-aircraft guns on them like the commies do in North Korea. Remarkable stuff. Jill Biden is delusional if she believes she can save her husband. The New York Post. Got lots of stuff. President Trump and the Supreme Court ruling today while we're on the air about presidential immunity. So we will have that for you as it happens. I got Chick-fil-A. I got DEI. I got terrorism in Europe. We're all in terror because the terrorists are about to attack American bases in Europe. Joe Biden is still sleeping.
Mika, you've got a mind meld with some people in North Korea.
Ah, yes. The big flip-flop of the left. On Friday, he absolutely had to go. And today, he absolutely must be protected and he must stay. And if you're a Democrat, your brain just flip-flopped on you and you didn't even notice it because the party owns you. Let's go to the telephones, Michael. Let's go to Jim calling from Winchester, Virginia. Jimmy, you're on the Chris Plante Show.
Good morning, Chris.
Hey, Jim.
Just a thought that I had random to what you're talking about with Trump and Biden. When Trump was president, he went to a West Point graduation, if you remember, and he accepted help from an aide to walk down a wet wooden ramp, which was slick with his expensive leather sole shoes.
Right.
And the press just couldn't get enough of it and went on and on about him being feeble and needing assistance. Where is that press today?
Well, I think your question is a rhetorical one, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but it does inform us once again. And the press keeps telling us, what's that ridiculous line that the Democrats love to quote when somebody tells you who they are, believe them the first time? And with the press, they've told us 1,000 times, no, thousands and thousands of times, that they're corrupt, dishonest frauds, that they're charlatans, that they're political actors, serving the Democrat Party and assailing the Republican Party. And for generations, this has been the case. But today, they're full-on North Korean. They make Pravda and Izvestia and TASS, got to throw in a third Soviet news agency. They make the Soviet news and the Iranian news agencies look legitimate because they all have a gun to their head. The American press is corrupt voluntarily. But you're right. Where is that press, Jim? Oops, sorry about that little microphone trick. The magic of radio. Jim, of course, zeroes in on the most corrupt institution in America, the American news media. Filthy, rotten, corrupt to the core, but great to the Navy. It's an old joke about easy women. But the Democrats and I'll just leave it there. But Jim points out President Trump at West Point, slippery, wet ramp, expensive Italian shoes, walking down the ramp. And it was a little slippery, so he grabbed the rail. And it's true, the news media turned then, oh, look, Trump isn't capable. And Joe Biden just, he's fallen down like 100 flights of stairs. He can't go up the stairs to Air Force One. He trips over sandbags and then yells at the sandbag. It's a little sandbag you could, it's not like a big one for preventing a flood. It's a little one you could hold in your hand like this and size of a bag of rice. And he... just amazing stuff. And the news media gives him not only a pass, they give him a tongue bath, head to toe. I know, we'll just move on from there because you don't want to spend a lot of time thinking about that. But let's have a flashback. I have access to the internet here. Have you heard of that? And it's high speed. The government must be behind it or something. I went and pulled the ABC fake news story from June 20th, now July 1st. And on June 20th, Biden heads to Camp David to prepare for first presidential debate with Trump. He aims to hold Trump accountable for comments on the trail. See, that's the officials said. They have officials. Now all the officials are going to be fired and maybe lined up against a wall because, you take incremental steps toward being North Korea. Then one day you make the great leap and you start executing your own staff. We'll see when that happens. Could be soon. With a week to go until the first presidential debate, ABC News typed on behalf of their candidate. President Joe Biden heads to Camp David on Thursday to prepare for his critical matchup with former President Donald Trump. The famous rustic retreat. They wanted to take time to call it a famous rustic retreat in the Maryland mountains has hosted many debate boot camps during election years. Biden hopes to make the most of its secluded setting in the days before heading to the June 27th debate hosted by CNN in Atlanta. Now, then they go on and on about how great Jake Tapper and Dana Bash are because they're all in the hot tub together. Hot tub. And it's a big circle fest. Amazing stuff. The first of two scheduled debates. Yeah, we'll see if that second one ever takes place, right? But the ABC News, and he's got a team of 16 people, and they're experts, and they're training him. And now they're blaming the 16 people, and if they can fire him, they will, because Jill Biden is actually the secret president. She's Woodrow Wilson, when he was a racist, segregationist, progressive Democrat president of the United States. He had a stroke, and he was incapacitated, and his wife took over the duties of president, and they just kind of kept it quiet, and the press acted like it was okay. Remarkable stuff. But let's have a flashback to the debate was on Thursday, right? And then on Friday, all the news media, they were up in arms, and it was time for Joe Biden to go from Van Jones to Chuck Todd, the whole gang of them. Oh, no, it was so terrible. It's not too late to replace him. The convention is still far away. We can put somebody else in there.
There's a full-on panic about this performance.
Chunk.
Some within your own party are wondering if President Biden should even step aside.
There is
Manderson
a deep,
Pooper.
a wide, and a very aggressive panic in the Democratic Party.
Panic.
The panic that I am hearing from Democrats is
Dana
not like
Bash.
anything that I have heard.
That's his performance after 5 days at Camp David? That's after rest?
I think it was
We
7
got a
days.
test to meet tonight to restore confidence of the country and of the base.
Van
And he failed
Jones.
to do that.
I am in a state of shock. He is diminished to an extent that has become
John Carl.
undeniable.
I think there's a lot of people who are going to want to see him consider taking a different course now, figure out a different way forward if he will allow us to do that.
I fear Donald Trump will be the next president of the United States unless things change.
How long do we continue to act like that we didn't see what we just saw last night? I thought for many people, the word I keep hearing, it was very painful to watch.
It's very painful to watch. Very painful indeed. Not as painful as that guy being urinated on at the Pride Parade in San Francisco, but that's another discussion. And that was Friday. And then Saturday, it was the same thing. Then Sunday, they all got their new Achtung, schnell, new marching orders from the party. And the party told all the party faithful, the Democrats, you will now say that Joe Biden must stay because he is so good and he is the best and only he can win and he is saving democracy and the nation. He is very, very good.
Joe Biden's decision to go forward is a decision that we will all embrace because of the record he has and the performance that will come with it.
84-year-old Nancy Pelosi coming to Joe Biden's aid there. She also brought him a plastic spoon. That was Nancy Pelosi, and she is actually older than Joe Biden by several years, and her brain works better than Joe Biden's, or most things, but work better than Joe Biden's. But never mind that. That's pretty amazing. Also, here's a fun fact. Bill Clinton was elected to the White House. Bill Clinton was elected president of the United States. In 1992. 1992. So he was inaugurated in 1993. And Bill Clinton is younger than Joe Biden today. Bill Clinton is younger than Donald Trump also. But Donald Trump didn't have a brain seizure in the same way that Joe Biden. Joe Biden has had brain surgery twice. This is another thing that keeps being left out. And I've talked to you about this. I've got a great friend who is a neurosurgeon who explained to me that a lot of the behaviors we see from Joe Biden are typical of people that have had open brain surgery, where you have to cut an opening in the skull, go in and clamp off blood flow to an area of the brain while repairs are performed to damaged areas because of a variety of things. And when you cut off the blood flow to an area of the brain cells start dying immediately by the millions, and then you restore blood flow to that area of the brain, and it's not like everything recovers completely. There are permanent indicators that, and my friend the neurosurgeon has explained to me in layman's terms so that my simple brain, my mind can understand it, that what we see with Joe Biden, the way he walks and his loss of train of thought and his blank stares, that these are indicative of people that have had brain surgeries, and Joe Biden has had 2 brain surgeries over time. My friend operated on my lower back, L5, had that L5 laminectomy, had to have that removed, crushed disc, and great surgeon. But never mind that. That's not important right now. So now all the Democrats have changed their tune because the party told them to snap to and start singing from the party sheet music.
He should stay in this race. He should demonstrate it going forward, his capacity to lead the country.
James Clyburn, of course, and James Clyburn had some pretty funny stuff to say. He doesn't always tell the truth because he's an elected Democrat politician. Know what I'm talking about? He just says stuff.
The fact of the matter is, I've made it very clear ever since the morning after, that is Friday morning, that I think people ought to just chill out. This is something that denotes what can happen anytime a sitting president takes it upon himself to debate. It has happened historically. I saw it happen to Ronald Reagan. It happened to Barack Obama.
No.
And now it's happened to Joe Biden.
Now, Barack Obama had one bad debate, but it wasn't like that. It wasn't a total mental meltdown. And Ronald Reagan had a one debate that was better than another debate, but Ronald Reagan was saving the world. He was actually saving democracy. Ronald Reagan actually did save democracy and the free world and the Western world. He was a miracle. Joe Biden is a maroon. He's a cartoon character. He's severely brain damaged. Everybody knows it. You know it. I know it. The American people know it. Just remarkable stuff that we get from these people. Can I just say, these people. They lie with such ease, such alacrity. And honestly, it is kind of amusing that Bill Clinton today, who's been in retirement for decades, is still younger than Joe Biden, and he's younger than Donald Trump. But that's not important, Donald Trump, because Donald Trump's brain has not gone to seed, gone out to the retirement community. Just amazing stuff. I am telling you. Well, we were just talking about James Clyburn, so let's wrap James Clyburn because we got a couple more James Clyburn. He was on CNN, and here's the problem, is that when the 16 experts went up to Camp David with Joe Biden to prep him for the big debate, well, something went terribly wrong.
For him to go into preparation, and what I've been calling this a classic example of preparation overload, I just think that there should have been much less preparation for this debate and much more activism in his job.
Activism in his job. That makes a lot of sense. A complete non sequitur, but it rhymed a little bit. Should have been. So what is that, like preparation O? We got preparation O. That's a salve. They brought it up to Camp David in a tube in a black medical bag. Too much preparation. Yeah, sure. Yeah. That's what happened. Over preparation. He was too prepared. And that's what the congressman who is credited with getting Joe Biden elected president because they're racists, and they're nothing if not racists. And James Clyburn is a black man, and therefore they have to. And then they got Kamala because, you know, her skin is darker than some people's and not as dark as other people's. But James Clyburn has identified the problem. It was over preparation. Preparation O. Never let that happen again. Just amazing stuff. James Clyburn on CNN, and they all sit there nodding. And yeah, he was too prepared.
I've been a part of debate preparation before.
You have?
And I know what when I see what I call preparation overload. And that's exactly what was going on the other night.
It's like Operation Overlord, but it's preparation overload. Overload. That's what happened. Now, you know, you can lie to other people, Congressman, but I hear you lying to yourself here, too. I hear that your lying is so natural. It comes so naturally to you that you tell yourself lies and then you believe them. I can hear it in your tone. I can see it in your eyes to the extent that anything can be seen in there. John Fetterman, speaking of very severely brain damaged people, who, where was he the other day meeting with a sweatshirt and... he was with Netanyahu. He was in a hooded sweatshirt and shorts with gym shoes on. He's a United States senator meeting foreign leaders. The guy, honestly... he should be checking people in at a golf course somewhere on the first tee box. Amazing stuff. Senator John Fetterman, he was on the Fox News channel. Democrats are a little too nervous to talk to him. And he's like, hey, come on, it's just one debate. What's the big?
One debate does not define a person's record or the kind of person or the situation. There was that same kind of a freak out after my debate.
Yeah, well, there was kind of a Fetterman, but Fetterman was there. He was summing it up.
That whole abandoned Biden thing, that's the dumbest I've ever heard. I mean, if you are more inclined to vote for a Democrat or be a Democrat, if you're willing to walk away from Joe Biden, you're by defecting helping Trump. By defecting, whatever that word is. And he used the S word there very casually because he dresses like he lives under a bridge. I think he was drinking some Milwaukee's Best beer there while he was being interviewed. Remarkable stuff. And it's just, it's not, but the thing is here, I don't know, Senator, see, he gets his news from CNN and MSNBC. So he hasn't seen Joe Biden fall over 100 times and fall up the stairs to the Air Force One. He doesn't know that they put the kiddie stairs up to Air Force One so he can walk the length of the plane twice and then take an internal staircase up in case he falls. He doesn't know about all the reports that you get here on my show and on Newsmax, for example, about Joe Biden and the Biden Chronicles, for example. Fetterman, he's summing it up. One debate is not a career any more than Donald Trump. 38 convictions for felonies aren't really going to define, his reputation and his presidency. And that's why they're both here again. It's 34 felonies, not 38. And that was a political lynching by the North Korean left in the United States called the Democrat Party. And Chunk Todd said that Biden was at Camp David for 5 days. It was 7 or 8 days. They're not good at reporting the news reporters and politicians. How do you think we got to be $34 trillion in debt? Ask Fetterman what the national debt is. I'll bet you $1 he doesn't know. Our country is being run by idiots. That's kind of a problem, I think. And then we've got a news media. 90-some% of the news media lies about everything all day long from the moment their alarm goes off in the morning until they lay their heads down on somebody else's pillow at night. Also, we are standing by for the Supreme Court. Should, in a matter of minutes, be perhaps coming out with the big decision on presidential immunity, but not yet. And so let's go to the telephones, Michael, and talk to the nice people, the smart people, our audience, not the MSNBC audience, where they're angry, self-immolating maroons who are wrong about everything, but
always confident that they're right about everything. Let's go to Larry calling from Falls Church, Virginia. Lawrence, you're on the Chris Plant Show.
Buongiorno, Chris.
Buongiorno to you. Si.
Here's my question. The reason that not Dr. Jill Biden wants him to stay in the race is their huge campaign trove of ill-gotten gains, of all those dumbass donations. I mean, Joe isn't stupid. Joe has dementia. His supporters, now they're stupid. So what happens to the money, Chris? What happens to the money? Follow the money. And I know that you and your smart listeners will know the answers. Have a great day, Chris.
Thank you, Larry. That's good. See, Larry is an intelligent consumer of news and information and of politics, and he knows that there are tens of millions of dollars dangling out there. And what happens to those tens of millions of dollars if Joe Biden should just bow out and say, he's going to become a rapper? I don't know. I thought Bow Wow. I think his name could be Bow Out. That could be his rap name. They got Bow Wow and Lil Bow Wow and Lil, this and Lil that. He could be Lil Bow Out. Lil Big Guy. He could be Lil Big Guy. Lil Big Guy, because we all know him to be Big Guy. The anchors at CNN don't know if you say he's the big guy, they don't know what you're talking about. They have, what is that? Why do you call him Big Guy? Because they don't follow the news. It's one of the things. And they were told by the government that whole laptop thing was Russian disinformation. That means they were lied to, and they believed the lie, and they carry the lie forward. Because like their boy, Joseph Goebbels said, a lie told once remains a lie told 1,000 times becomes the truth. That is the Democrat Party's mantra in 2024 and beyond. Isn't it? Yes, it is. Yeah, so Joe Biden, should he stay or should he go now? And the Supreme Court coming right up.
Did I hear you correctly say that perhaps he was influenced by Goebbels?